If you are buying a home in the UK, especially in London, the term affordable housing is something you will inevitably come across. At the same time, it's not something that your agent or developers always bring up in details. But understanding it is absolutely key to make smart, informed decisions. Hi, this is Lili from EGRE. We are an international property agency specializing in London and Dubai. I've been working in this field for over a decade, and I've personally invested in several properties in London. So in today's video, I will walk you through the essential facts about affordable housing, what types they are, who typically lives in them, and what to look out for when you are choosing a property. If you are currently house hunting, this is important information you wouldn't want to miss. Give this video a like or save it to come back to later. It might come in very handy. First of all, we need to understand what is affordable housing. Affordable housing is a technical term used in UK housing policy. It refers to homes offered at below market rents or prices, made available to people who meet specific eligibility criteria. Don't be a snob, it's not housing for the poor. It's actually part of a public initiative to improve housing access, designed to help people who might be priced out of London's market to stay in the city and continue working here. In London, most new developments are required to include a proportion of affordable housing to get planning permission. In many boroughs, this proportion is set at 30% or even higher, sometimes over 50%. Some developers may offer some other kind of public benefits like a new school or a community center to offset this requirement, but in large-scale developments in London, a 30% affordable housing share is typically required. While this is a planning requirement, the types, proportion, and how it's integrated into the development can significantly impact a project's atmosphere and value. In fact, two developments in the same location can vary a lot in pricing depending on how affordable housing is managed. So let's break down the different categories and types of affordable housing and who typically live there. The first major category is affordable rental housing. This includes rental homes offered at discounted rates, and there are 4 subtypes within this category, each with different target groups. First type is intermediate rent or London living rent. These homes are rented at around 65 to 80% of market rent and are aimed at mid-income households who live or work in London, often including key workers such as NHS staff, teachers, and civil servants. While not limited to essential workers, they are frequently given priority, especially in high-demand areas. These tenants are usually financially stable, community-minded, and long-term oriented, exactly the type of neighbors you might wish for. The second type is affordable rent. These homes are let at 80% of the market value, aimed at middle-income households who are steadily employed. In London, for example, applicants typically need to earn under £67,000 per year. That's a lot. They might not yet be able to afford market rent or buy a home, but they are well-employed and contributing members of the society, generally respectful and stable neighbors. The third type is social rent. This is what commonly referred to as social housing, with rent set at around 50 to 60% of market levels. It's allocated to people with greater financial or health-related challenges, for example, those living with disabilities, long-term illness, or low-income households receiving government support. The fourth type is emergency or temporary housing. This is fully government-funded accommodation, provided short-term for people facing urgent need, including those experiencing homelessness, survivors of domestic abuse, new refugees, or people recently released from prison. Because of its temporary nature, residents in this category tend to change more frequently. The second major category is affordable home ownership. These schemes aim to help people buy a home, usually through discounted pricing or shared ownership. The first type within this category is First Home Scheme, a government-backed program designed to help local residents with contributions to the society get on the property ladder. These homes are sold at 30 to 50% below market value. While the policy doesn't strictly require you to be a key worker, in practice, priority is often given to essential service providers like teachers, nurses, military personnel, and emergency workers, especially during the initial marketing phase of the property. To qualify, applicant must be a first-time buyer, have a household income under $90,000, and live or work in the local area. These buyers tend to be stable, long-term residents who care about the community, exactly the type of neighbors you might want to have. The second type is shared ownership. Buyers can purchase a share of the home starting from 25% and pay rent on the remaining proportion. is designed for first-time buyers or those who no longer own the property, with income caps around £90,000 per year. These buyers are essentially like any others, just accessing property ownership via a more affordable route. The third type is rent-to-buy. This lets tenants rent at a reduced rate, normally around 80% of the market rent, for a few years, while they save to purchase a shared ownership property later on. It's mostly aimed at young professionals or working families who need time to build up their deposit. These tenants normally stay long-term and are invested in the neighborhood. After understanding the categories and types within each one, let's summarize the key points. If you are looking at a development that includes affordable housing, here are 3 things you need to keep in mind. The first one is overall proportion. In higher-end communities, you will often find that the lower the affordable housing ratio, the more exclusive the feel. While 30% is commonly required in London, developers can sometimes reduce it by offering alternative public contributions. That said, the higher percentage doesn't mean the community is less desirable, otherwise everything we just discussed wouldn't matter. The second important factor to pay attention is types of affordable housing. Not all affordable housing is the same. If the majority falls under shared ownership, first homes, or intermediate rent, you are looking at well-qualified, stable local professionals. In many cases, they are contributing more to the community than overseas landlords or vacant investors. So, a higher proportion of these types generally won't impact neighborhood quality or property values. However, if there is a significant share of emergency housing, it's worth taking a closer look at how that fits into what you are looking for. Keep in mind, these proportions are usually fixed during the planning stage by the local council. In fact, in prime locations, affordable housing quotas are often very strictly required. The third one to pay attention to is physical layouts and integration. Even in luxury developments, affordable housing is usually unavoidable. What matters is how well they are integrated. Are there separate entrances or buildings? Are facilities shared or segregated? Good designs can help ensure overall feel of the development is cohesive and high quality. Okay, after watching this video, I hope you now have a clear, more balanced view of what affordable housing really means. Affordable housing is not something to be feared or stigmatized. That kind of thinking can come off as elitist, and more importantly, it overlooks the value of diverse, functional communities. At EGRE, our role as your consultant is to help you understand the detailed arrangements of the affordable housing in the development, so you can make informed decisions based on proportion, type, and integration, and invest with confidence. So if you have any questions about affordable housing or searching for a home, just get in touch. We're always happy to help.